10 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time now for us to close the track prior to competition. Attention riders, attention all riders, would you now please clear the track? The track is now closed prior to competition beginning at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Hello, Cat QB here again. I am now at track centre, and you know what? We're really not far away from getting that racing started and, of course, the opening ceremony. But I don't know if you know, the velodrome here is one of the busiest ones in the whole world. It's brand new, it's so modern, it's completely newfangled. Well, that's what I like to call it anyway. But what you might not know is that it's a wee bit like a spaceship. Seriously? Bit like a spaceship, which is why I have this big red button, and when we press it, it gets everything going. It gets the velodrome into race readiness. And I've got a wee friend here. What's your name there?
Callum.
This is Callum. Are you going to help me push the button?
Yes.
Yes. It's a big duty. Do you think you can do it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we about ready? Crowd, are you ready? Let's count them in. 3, 2, 1. Push the button. So I don't know if you can see, the shutters are closing now. We're getting race ready. Pretty exciting. So we're counting down now. The airlock sequence will shortly commence. You can feel the tension rising in here. You can see it in wee Callum's face too. So that's the airlock sequence commencing. The shutters are nearly down. You can see the riders, the concentration on their faces. We're nearly down to 10 seconds. Will you all count with me? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're initiated! So not far away now from the opening ceremony and all those races still to come this evening.
Nearer now to competition beginning following our opening ceremony in a few minutes. We have 4 different disciplines this evening, ladies and gentlemen, the first of which will feature both the men's and the women's team sprint. Now, some of you may have never seen a team sprint before. Perhaps you don't know what on earth a team sprint is all about. Well, we've put together a little video to help you understand just what team sprinting is all about. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our opening ceremony, time to introduce you, by way of our flags, to the 32 nations who are represented in these championships. Argentina, Australia, Belarus, Belgium, Canada, Chile, Colombia, the Czech Republic, Denmark, France, Germany, Greece, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Kazakhstan, Korea, Lithuania, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Poland, Portugal, the Russian Federation, South Africa, Switzerland, Chinese Taipei, Trinidad and Tobago, United States of America, Uzbekistan, and finally the host nation, Great Britain. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for these young club riders of Glasgow and the surrounding areas. Who knows, maybe one day they could be competing here at the UCI Junior World Championships. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the podium to formally open the championships the Chair of Glasgow Life and Executive Member for the Commonwealth Games, Councillor Archie Graham.
Thank you very much indeed. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the City of Glasgow, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all here to the Emirates Arena for the start of the 2013 UCI Juniors Track World Championships. I'm especially delighted to be welcoming so many of you to the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome for the first time, for what we are all expecting to be an amazing few days of competition. This wonderful venue has been open for almost 10 months now and is already widely used and appreciated by people from far and wide. An example of the legacy this city is already achieving as a result of the 2014 Commonwealth Games, and that's a full year before the Games themselves actually take place. Glasgow is honoured to have been chosen as the hosts for these championships, and I know our great city will reward the faith you have placed in us with an unforgettable event. Last year, the UCI gave us the chance to host the Track Cycling World Cup, which was one of the first major events after we opened the doors of this iconic velodrome to the world. And the memories from them have been driving excitement and interest in this competition. Track cycling has never been more popular in Britain and never more popular here in the city of Glasgow. And thousands of people have bought tickets to come and see the superstars of the near future battle it out for medals. I'd like to place on record our thanks to the UCI for allowing us to host this event and for the continuing support of Event Scotland, British Cycling and Scottish Cycling in staging these championships. Can I also thank all the riders, all the coaches and the hundreds of volunteers who help to make championships like this such a wonderful spectacle. Ladies and gentlemen, without volunteers there would be no sport of any kind. So I'd be very grateful if you could show your appreciation to the hundreds of volunteers who helped put this show on the road. Well done to them, and thank you very much indeed. Working with partners like these has helped us enhance still further Glasgow's growing reputation as an international sporting city. Finally, it falls to me to wish all the competitors the very best of luck, and I hope you will all be able to spend some time enjoying other activities in Glasgow once you've finished with the cycling. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, indeed very much for coming along. The UCI Junior Track World Championships are now open. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our opening ceremony of these UCI Juniors Track World Championships Glasgow 2013. Please join with us by showing your appreciation for Councillor Archie Graham, the young riders, the Mary Ann Macready School of Highland Dance and the William Wood Pipe Band. So here we go with the first competition of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're beginning with the qualifying rounds of the women's team sprint. Now there are 10 nations entered. That means that we have 5 heats of 2 teams on the track at the same time, in the home straight and the back straight. First of all, in the home straight, we have Belarus, represented by Katsiarina Petruskaya and Maria Rudak. And in the back straight for Mexico, and I believe these are sisters actually, Jessica Salazar and Lisbeth Salazar.
So both teams away in this first of 5 heats for the women's team sprint. Just 2 riders in the women's team sprint, as you saw from our explanation of the event a little earlier. And each rider completes a lap and then swings off, and the second rider completes the distance and records the time. Quite a gap here by the team who started in the back straight. Riders need to change within 15 metres of that pursuit line. Otherwise they would be penalised. The rules have been changed a little bit on this event in recent years, but riders essentially need to complete a lap and then swing off, and the second rider takes up the chase. So at the run to the line, the opening times in this competition, Belarus clocking 38.510 and the time for Mexico 37.070. So an early lead in the first of 5 heats for the team of Mexico.
Swiftly on to the second of these 5 heats. Remember that the fastest 2 overall will ride off later for gold and silver. The next 2 fastest will go for bronze. In the home straight this time, representing Korea, we have Yeonhee Yang and Soojin Kim. And in the back straight for India, we have Deborah and Tongbram Monorama.
So the second heat rolls away of these 5 qualification heats. The fastest 2 teams will go through to the final for the gold and silver medal, and the third and fourth fastest teams will contest the bronze. Time to beat at the moment, that's up by Mexico in the opening heat, 37.070. And it's the team in the home straight here who have made the fastest start. Korea already into their second lap. Meanwhile, India making their change in the back straight. If you're interested, the red pad on the track indicates the limit of the zone in which the riders can change. They need to have completed the changeover by the time the second rider reaches that red pad on the inside of the track. And as we complete the second heat, the fastest time in that one is posted by the team of Korea, and it's a new fastest time. They go to 35.810, and the time for the team of India, 39.080.
On then to the third of these 5 heats. We're getting through these pretty briskly. This time in the home straight, we have Belgium, who got a European bronze medal in these championships last month. We are looking at Belgium in the home straight, who are represented by Nikki de Grendele and Catharina Venmont. In the back straight, we have Chinese Taipei, who are represented by Yu Cheng and Yu Hung.
So off we go for heat number 3, and the time to beat, 35.810, posted by Korea in the second heat. And it's Belgium in the blue colours who started in the home straight, and the riders from Chinese Taipei. Quite equally matched in the opening lap as they head for the changeover, and the anchor leg for Belgium crosses the line slightly ahead of Chinese Taipei. Half a lap to go for each team. Remember, the time is critical to get a place in that final ride-off later this evening. Let's keep our eye on the big scoreboard to see that Belgium crossed the line ahead of Chinese Taipei. 35.950 is the time for Belgium, and 37.480 for Chinese Taipei. So that means Korea are still fastest, but Belgium move up into second spot with Mexico third and Chinese Taipei in fourth place.
Heat 4 of the 5 then. Remember, we have 10 teams entered in this particular competition. This time in the home straight, we have Australia, represented by Tian Beckett and Tanila Falapi. In the back straight, we have the United States of America, represented by Nadia Latsko and Tara McCormick.
So the countdown releases the bikes, but there's a problem for the team in the back straight. and the gunshot indicates it's a false start. The teams do get 2 opportunities to record a time in this competition. Not quite sure what the difficulty was there, but the team in the back straight didn't get cleanly away from the gate. It was the American riders who had the problem. Well, it looks like the riders are going to go straight back up onto the track. It was the American team. Perhaps the rider on the outside crossed the line ahead of the rider who starts in the gate, and that is a false start. So they'll be brought back to the line, and Australia in the home straight, the United States in the back straight.
Well, let's just remind ourselves of who we've got in this 4th heat of the 5. Once again, in the home straight, it's Australia, Tian Beckett and Tanili Falapi. And in the back straight, it's the United States of America, Nadia Latsko and Tara McCormick. Just a reminder once again that at the end of all these 5 heats and 10 teams going, the fastest 2 compete later this evening for the ride-off for gold and silver. The next fastest 2 of the 10 will compete for the bronze.
So both teams cleanly away this time. Australia versus the United States in this penultimate heat of the women's team sprint qualification. Fastest time still stands with Korea, 35.810 to beat. And as the riders complete the first lap and the changeover is made, it's Australia who are ahead here. 0.3 of a second the advantage over the American team. Inside half a lap to go. It's still Australia as they come into the finishing straight. But can they overhaul that fastest time of Korea? Yes, they can. New fastest time for the team of Australia, 35.560. They move into top spot. And the United States, 38.280. So the classification with 1 heat to go is that Australia are fastest, Korea are second, Mexico third, and Chinese Taipei in 4th qualification place at the moment. But 1 more heat and 2 teams yet to go.
So we come to the last of the 5 heats, teams numbers 9 and 10 if you like. In the home straight, we have the new European gold medalists in this discipline from Russia, Tatiana Kiseleva and Yekaterina Rogovaya. In the back straight, the team they met in that final just a month ago, they took the silver medal, the team from Germany, represented by Doreen Heinze and Lisa Klein.
So away we go, the final heat. Russian rider bouncing her bike out the starting gate there. The pressure being applied on the pedal to make a fast getaway. The Russians, of course, as Mike just pointed out, the European champions of this discipline, scoring that win just a month ago in Portugal. And as they come to completion of the opening lap, this is an evenly matched contest between these two. Very little to choose between them as we go into the final 250 metres. Remember, the fastest two teams will ride for gold and silver later this evening. And as we come towards the finishing line, it looks like the home straight will just get it. So Russia just faster than Germany, 35.800 for the team of Russia, 36.250 for Germany. So the Australians are fastest. They'll meet the Russians in the ride for gold and silver, and Korea will take on Germany in the battle for the bronze medal.
So just once again to confirm the results then, as you heard from Carl there, Australia, the fastest, will therefore meet Russia, the new European champions, for the ride-off for gold and silver. And the bronze medal ride will be between the 3rd fastest team, Korea, and the 4th fastest team, Germany. And just to complete a wrap of the results, I have to inform you that the Belgian team, who clocked 35.950, which would have actually given them a ride-off for a medal, they have been relegated, the Belgian team, for an incorrect changeover. Right, straight from the women on to the men now. And since we have an odd number of entrants, we have one team first going on their own. So we just have the home straight alone. Now it's 3 laps, of course, for the men because there are 3 riders. The first team off on their own, the team from India, represented by Alan Bebby, Dilawar and Singh Rubalpreet.
So India away. The observant amongst you will have noted that we have now moved to a 3-lap competition for the men, and this is an unusual start. In fact, the riders have been stopped because a problem there for India. Remember, they did get 2 chances to record a time. Well, you'll see from the action replay on our big screen in the track centre, the man 2 there pulled his foot from the pedal, which delayed his start. So the team of India coming straight back to take their second and final opportunity to record a time in this first heat of the men's team sprint qualification.
A quick name check then for the Indian team, going on their own, remember, because we have an odd number of entrants, 13 teams. We have for India, once again, Alan Bebby, Dilawar and Singh Rubalpreet.
So the countdown complete, the Indian team roll away, this time a good start, all 3 riders cleanly away and immediately into their formation. Remember, each rider completes a lap, they swing off and they've completed that lap and within 15 metres of that line at which they started. So the first rider there was Rubalpreet, completed his work, and the next 2 continue. Remember, the time, of course, taken on the final riders to complete the distance. And as with the women's competition earlier, the fastest 2 teams will ride for gold and silver later. So the man who is riding the final leg here, Alan Bebby of India, to post the opening time in this men's team sprint qualification round. Crosses the line, stops the clock, 52.550 is at the time for the others to aim for, posted by the team of India.
Right, well, after having one team on the track on their own, we now have 2 teams, home straight and back straight, for the rest of this qualifying round of the men's team sprint, the medal rides of which, of course, are a little later in this evening's session. This time, we will have in a moment or 2, as their lead bike, goes into the starting gate, we have the team from Poland who took the bronze medals in the European Championships last month, represented by Patrick Rajkowski, Matthias Rudik and Jakub Stecko. And in the back straight, the team from France, Thomas Copponi, Kylian Eveneau and Benjamin Gill. And just a reminder, by the way, that if you want to send in any of your tweets, feel free to get in touch with us, and if we can put them on the big screen, provided they're short and they're clean, and then we will do that for you. Send us your tweets to JTC 2013, and your message can be on our big screen here at the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome.
So heat 2 underway. Incidentally, the world record in this discipline stands to Australia, posted last year at these championships in New Zealand. And we've got another problem here. It's the team in the back straight who have had the difficulty this time. So the French squad coming to a halt. It's like the rider's third man having his foot not attached to the pedal. So we'll confirm what the difficulty was, but remember, as previously, teams only get 2 opportunities to record a time, so they need to get it right at the next time of asking.
I think that was another foot out of the pedal, actually, Carl. It looked like Thomas Caponi, the Frenchman, despite using the old-fashioned clips and straps, which many of the short distance riders, the sprinters, where they actually is more violent, if you like, often prefer. The Chris Hoys of this world and the Jason Kennys still prefer the clips and straps, and despite that, as you see on the big screen in the slow-mo, the outside rider for the French team, Thomas Caponi, still somehow managing to pull his foot out. So a restart in just a moment.
So that was another false start there. I'm here with Alistair from Scottish Cycling. I just wanted to have a wee chat with you actually about how exciting it is to have the UCI Junior Track Championships here at the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome.
Oh, as a long-term cyclist, Cathy, it's a dream come true for me. So something I never expected to see in my lifetime in cycling. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the 5 days.
And it's fantastic for British cycling in general, obviously, since at the Olympics last year, how much it's exploded. Everyone's getting on their bike these days.
Yeah, well, it seems to be. We had a very successful, hugely successful British Road Championships just a few weeks ago, and we had the mountain bike championships as well, and now culminating in this. So absolutely fantastic.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Alistair. I think we're ready to get going now with the next race.
So the second attempt, heat 2 underway, and it looks like both teams successfully departing from the start gates this time. Time to beat posted by India in the opening heat, 52.550. And of course 2 teams now for the duration of the rest of the competition. And that's pretty easily matched after the opening heat, just a couple of tenths of seconds between those 2 teams, as the French team, who had that initial problem, still going well in the back straight. They're coming to the final change. French get there just marginally ahead of the Poles, but it's all still to play for here. And of course the fastest 2 times for the medal rise for gold and silver. It looks like France have pulled a little bit out of the bag in this final run to the line. Back straight, France just ahead by slenderest of margins. So Poland Just waiting for confirmation of the time for the Polish team. 46.940 and France 46.700. So you don't get much closer than that, but France go into the lead position.
Our first tweet of the evening has come in from Ashivi. Is that Ashivi? Whoever you are, thanks very much indeed. What a venue, she says. What an event. Even more excited for Glasgow 2040. Now, oh, you're already looking forward to the Commonwealth Games. Well, make sure you get your tickets early for the Commonwealths. I know they're a long way away, but already tickets are going. Make sure you get yours for this venue next August. So, to the next heat on the track, and we have here the European gold medalists in the home straight, the new European junior champions, Germany, who are represented by Maximilian Dornbach, Jan May and Patrick Rahn. Facing them on the opposite side of the track, we have the team from Malaysia, Mohammed Mod, Mohammed Sarom and Ashraf Ying.
Well, yet again, a false start is given. So although the teams practice long and hard to get the starts absolutely right, the hand of fate has intervened in all three heats thus far. So once again, the teams will come straight back to their starting positions, ready for a second attempt to record a time. So on the big screen, there you go, and you can see the problem. Yet again, foot pedal interface proving elusive.
So people have been tweeting like crazy today, using the hashtag JTC2013. If you've got your phones on you and you've got a Twitter account, do send us a tweet. You might get yourself up on the main screen there. It's practically like being famous. So we've had one in from Lobela. First time at a cycling event, loving it. Hashtag JTC2013. And another one from Johnson's Jets. A big hello to all the Jets at the Junior Track 2013, JTC 2013. Hi, Heather, Connor, Cassie, Aidan, Juliet and Caitlin at the JTC 2013. That's from Lynn, kiss, 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 hug. Can I find out where you guys are in the stadium? Stick your hands up, give me a holler. Woo! Over there, big shout out then for you guys. So if you want to have a shout out, if you've got any questions, either for me or Mike or Carl, who are up there in the box, the voice of God, as we call it, or that's what I've been calling them today, you can send us a tweet, as I said, at hashtag JTC2013.
So the heat restarts, and whilst we were hearing from Kat a few moments ago, a confirmation from our trackside officials that both teams false started. Not the first time of asking, so they're fortunate they're cleaning away this time. The final chance, of course, for Germany and Malaysia in Heat 3 of this men's team sprint qualification round. It's still France and Poland occupying the top 2 spots, and these are 2 evenly matched after the opening lap as they approach completion of the second of the 3 laps. Changeover made, Germany there first. So the white colours of Germany versus the orange and black of Malaysia. Germany still carrying the advantage with half a lap to go. Remember, the time is all important. Fastest 2 teams for the gold and silver medal ride. And at the line, it is Germany who get there first in a time of 45.980, a new fastest time. And Malaysia qualifying 4th fastest at this stage of the competition, 47.180. So the new classification sees Germany go to the top, France second, Poland and Malaysia is the top 4 teams after the opening heats. Well, sad news for Malaysia. They have
on to Heat 4 now, and in the home straight this time we have the team from Belgium consisting of Lindsay de Wilde, Matthias Ossay and Jordi Franken. And in the back straight we have the team from the United States of America, represented by Callan Farley, James Mellon and Tyler Nostine. Now, Tyler Nostine is the son of Martin Nostine. You might recall, you supporters of cycling, he won the Olympic Sprint Championship in Sydney in 2000. Tyler, his son.
So heat number 4 underway, Belgium versus the United States. I do have some bad news for Malaysia though. They have been relegated due to an incorrect change in their heat. So Malaysia dropped to the bottom of the classification. But meanwhile, we focus our attention very much on the 2 teams on the track here, Belgium and the United States. And both teams well into their opening laps. The first change has been made. Let's get an idea of the relative positions as they go across the half lap point. And it is Belgium who are doing the better ride at the moment. So work to do here for the team of the United States. The last man thrown into the action for the team of Belgium is de Wilde. And for the team in the back straight, the United States of America, their man is Callan Farley. And it looks like Belgium have clocked the fastest time of those 2, but of course it's all depends on how they've gone compared with our previous leaders. The time for Belgium 49.030 and the time for the United States 50.600. So that means that Belgium and the United States occupy positions 4 and 5 in the classification. Germany and France still the 2 fastest teams, with Poland 3rd fastest, Belgium 4th fastest. But still more heats to go, so that situation could well change.
So on to the next 2 teams. In the home straight, we have the young team from Japan, represented by Yasuhiro Kubata, I should say, Ryuta Nogami and Yasuyuki Takimoto. All young, experienced keirin riders, I'm told. In the back straight, for Belarus, we have Uladrisian Novik, Yahen Varamchuk and Artyom Zaitsal.
So, heat number 5, halfway through this qualification round for the men's team sprint competition. And Japan, a slightly ragged start. Man 3 not quite on terms with his two colleagues yet. Now they settle into the rhythm. No such issues for Belarus. And the team is evenly matched after the opening lap. Good time indeed for the Belarus team. Of course, they're challenging for those top 2 places to ride for the gold and silver medal. Approaching completion of lap 2, and it is still the advantage to the team of Belarus, the fastest at the moment, with 1 lap to go. Belarus, who hosted the World Track Championships earlier in the year, and the team of Japan have got work to do in this closing run to the line. Well, Belarus just slipped off the pace slightly in a time of 46.760, classifying them 3rd fastest at this stage of the competition, and the time for Japan, 48.040, places them in 5th spot.
Between the heats, here we go with another tweet from James McNeil. James McNeil, thanks. Velodrome amazing, cyclists very talented, feeling motivated. Where's my bike? I like that one. Thanks for that. Well, who's this? Jack Mack. Okay, loving the event. Looking forward to the games next year, aren't we all, Jack? Bring it on with RYA. Thanks very much from Jack. That's lovely. Keep them coming, folks. And if we can get them up on the big screen, if you've got any questions, as well as telling us how you're feeling here, feel free. Four more teams to go. Germany still in top spot with 45.980 at the moment. The next 2 teams to go are, in the home straight, Australia, represented by Chai Angsuthasawit, Patrick Constable and Alexandra Radzikovic. And Mexico in the back straight, represented by Jose Babucas, Aldo Ortega and Jose Valdez.
So, heat number 6, Australia versus Mexico, and I have to tell you, this really is an action-packed and incident-packed men's team sprint qualification round, because the team of Belarus have now been relegated from the previous heat due to an incorrect change. In the meantime, Australians and the Mexicans underway here, and the Australians certainly made a very fast start indeed here. They are fastest by some margin, 0.4 of a second ahead of the fastest team after completion of the opening lap. And here we go as the riders come round with just half a lap to go. Looks like Australia have got this one in the bag for the competition with Mexico. the fastest time as well for Australia, 45.800. And the time for Mexico are 47.890. So that moves Australia now to the top of the classification. Germany lying second with 45.980. France third, and Poland in fourth spot.
Just a little chat between us, Carl, whilst we await the next two and the last two teams about when we announce a relegation. I think perhaps we ought to make it clear as to exactly what the relegation means when a team has infringed some rule. I know the answer, but I'll let you explain it.
Absolutely. Relegation means, as the word suggests, they are relegated to last place in the competition. There's no favour over who is the better relegated team. If you're relegated, you are relegated to last place, no matter how many teams end up at the bottom of the classification.
Right, we now come to the last two then in this men's team sprint qualifying round. In the home straight, last month's European Junior Championship silver medalists, Russia, represented by Alexander Dubchenko, Vladislav Fedin and Sergei Gorlov. In the back straight, we have New Zealand, represented by Quinn Karkowski, Jeremy Presbury, who incidentally is celebrating his 18th birthday today, and Callum Saunders.
So, off they go. Russia versus New Zealand. The Russians, the silver medalists in the European Championships. And New Zealand, well, a bit of a ragged start here. Man one with a considerable lead over his teammates. And of course, they've got the ground to make up. Time taken on the third rider to complete the final lap. And the current leaders are the team of Australia, with Germany lying second. So into the home stations with the team of Russia just marginally ahead. But of course, it's the overall time that counts here. And as we head into the final 250 metres, can Russia or New Zealand overhaul Australia and Germany for the ride in the gold and silver medals? At the line, Russia goes second fastest, 45.978 for Russia, and the time posted by New Zealand, 46.419, good enough for fourth place. So that means the gold and silver medal will be contested between Australia and Russia, and the the bronze medal will be contested by Germany and New Zealand.
So we'll just take a little breath for a moment there and confirm once again the ride-offs later this evening. First of all, we'll have Germany and New Zealand on the track in that discipline, riding off for the bronze medal. And following that, the big final for gold and silver between Australia and Russia. In a moment or two, the next event on the track, the women's scratch race, which is a straight one-off ride for the gold, silver and bronze medals. Another tweet coming in from Fingers Finn. What is an illegal changeover? Having a good time? Turn up the music, turn up the music. Hey, we've made a note. Love to my daughters Lily and Ava. Well, Fingers Finn, An illegal changeover. When a changeover is made in a team sprint, it has to be made between their start-finish line, which of course is midway down either the back straight or the home straight, and another clearly designated marker some 15 metres beyond that line. If the changeover is not made between those 2 points, that is declared an illegal changeover, and the team who transgresses, as we've earlier discussed, has to be relegated. Hope that answers your question. The women's scratch race in the meantime, it's a straight one-off over 30 laps, or 7.5 kilograms if you prefer. And we have the European gold medalist amongst the riders in this particular competition, the Italian Claudia Creti, who won that gold medal just a month ago. And once the riders get underway, my colleague Carl will be picking out others for you. We have around about 18 or 20 riders coming to the line, some of them being held up, as you see, on the bottom area of the track, others supporting themselves on the outside barrier. They will go off to a one-lap rolling start, and when the starter is happy, as they come round again at the completion of that lap, it is happy that they're all nicely together, then the gun will fire. The lap board, as it does now, will start counting down from 30. It's showing 30 now, and then the race is on. It's a straight scratch race. First over the line gets gold, second silver, and third bronze. It's as simple as that. If anybody gains a lap, then they are obviously at a huge advantage over the rest of the field. So watch carefully.
So the gun fires and the women's scratch race is underway. Just 30 laps of the track, 7.5 kilometres. And as Mike flagged up, we do have the recently crowned European champion in this discipline, taking the gold medal in Portugal just on a month ago. She was race number 174 in the colours of Italy, Claudia Creti. So the scratch race discipline, it literally is a race from start to finish, no sprints or anything like that you get in point races. It is the first 3 riders across the finish line will take the gold, silver and bronze medals. A little bit of finessing in the early stages as the riders take a look at each other. Josie Talbot of Australia is the rider on the front of the string as they come out of corner number 2 and head down the back straight. So the riders maintaining a high position on the track at the moment above the blue stayers line, which is not significant in this event, but it comes into play when we go into other events like the Madison race. And that's a brief respite because we have got 2 riders now who are starting to make a move off the front. Early stages yet, the main field need to respond. It's only a short race, 26 laps to go. If these 2 riders are allowed to gain ground, they could well take this race by the scruff of the neck. It's Céline Lamboli of France who has gone away, and her fellow breakaway companion here is just on her wheel and now takes the lead position, but they're not fully committed to that move, and the main field closing the gap down again. So the Colombian rider who went away there was Jessica Parra along with Lamboli of France, but all back together. That attack swiftly neutralised, and with 24 laps to go, the peloton is complete as they head underneath our electronic scoreboard. So So you saw how quickly moves can develop in this sort of race. Those two riders taking the opportunity while the field were high on the track to launch an attack at the bottom part adjacent to the black line, which is the actual measurement of 250 metres around the track. It's called the gauge line officially. And we've already got a rider here dropping out. It's one of the riders who went on the attack earlier on. That was Lambeau of France. Well, she slowed briefly. Don't know if she thought she had a mechanical problem, but now she's picking up the pace again. And unfortunately, the field are not in full flow, so she may well latch herself back onto the rear of the peloton. And she is safely back in the field. Still 22 laps to go in this Women's Junior World Champion scratch race. Australia staying thereabouts at the front of the race. That's Josie Talbot, number 103. And also a rider from Switzerland at the front as well. So yet again, the pace picks up. And looks like Belgium now, who are making a bid to break away. Jessie Van Boekelen of Belgium is the lead rider, number 44, being reeled in, or attempted to be reeled in, by Luka Petriak of Poland. But she's dropped back down the string. But it's still the Belgian with the advantage here, 19 laps to go. And it's very difficult to try and go clear and indeed maintain that lead when you're on your own. No one to just give you a little bit of a pace and share the effort. So the Belgian, she's not being pursued in full speed by the peloton at the moment, so this could well play into her hands. She glances just under her shoulder as she comes along the finishing straight. And the main field busy looking at each other, so this is being capitalised on by the Belgian rider Van Boekel. She has almost quarter of a lap advantage with 17 laps to go. So good support here for our Belgian rider, who is still on the attack. In fact, she's now in the opposite straight to the peloton. The Australian, Talbot, just glancing behind her to see if anyone else is going to contribute to the effort to regain the breakaway rider. But in the meantime, Van Boekel has still got the advantage. 4 kilometres remain in the 7.5 kilometre women's scratch race. And the advantage at the moment is standing with Belgium. Now the pace is picked up in the main field. You can tell as they drop into the well of the track and stretch out into a longer line. That may well see the gap come down. But still not fully committed to chasing down the Belgian. So Van Boekel still carrying the advantage here. And the rider who is now trying to animate the move to bring her back is Huang of the United States of America, Sarah Huang. But again, she spends only a small time on the front before dropping into the middle of the peloton. And it is still our Belgian rider, number 44, Jessie Van Boekel, who is doing a great ride here, 14 laps to go. A couple of riders have looked as though they've been trying to draw the peloton out and chase her down, but no one committed to the move yet. So still just over a quarter of a lap, the advantage for Van Boekel. She must be tiring now. She's been out on her own for quite some time. And it looks like another attacking move here from the peloton. Jessica Parra of Colombia out of the saddle, trying to lift the pace. And Van Boekel here is now being pursued by the lone chaser, the rider from Colombia, Jessica Parra. Well, Parra has timed this move well and will make contact. Indeed, she'll go straight through the Belgian, who looks as though she may be a spent force here. So the advantage swings in favour of the team of Colombia and Jessica Parra. And we've got 11 laps to go, so inside the final 3 kilometres. Van Boekel still hanging on to second spot, but Parra of Colombia, the new leader, in those white colours as she goes under the scoreboard. Lap board will shortly be down to single figures. And still the peloton hesitate. Now the moves start to come. As Van Boekel is finally caught. It's a brave move, but she couldn't maintain it through to the finish. And Kinley Gibson from Canada is the rider who is now trying to bridge the gap across to our Colombian leader. So if Para can take this one, she's not far away from her 18th birthday on Saturday. It'll be a great present to take away a gold medal in these World Junior Track Championships. But still 2 kilometres to go. Para, though, really did time that breakaway move well, and the main field are yet to make any real impression. Meanwhile, in second spot, it's still Kinley Gibson, with Australia moving into third place at the head of the peloton, Josie Talbot. So the lead rider at the pursuit line in the home straight is the rider from Colombia, Jessica Para, and reaching that point now in pursuit of her, Kinley Gibson of Canada. And meanwhile, the main field just coming into the home straight. Lap board showing just 7 laps remaining, and it looks like Ireland have lost contact with the rear of the group. That was Rachel Meller of Ireland. But the peloton are still travelling at a modest pace, so she might just get back on. But in the meantime, the Colombian rider is almost in the same straight as the back of the main field, with only 6 laps to go. This is looking good for Para of Colombia. Gibson of Canada still in second spot. Still the Australian rider sitting at the front of the main field, but the Colombian here has the back markers in her sights with only 5 laps to go. And it looks like the Irish rider will be overhauled by the leader when they come into the finishing straight this time. Head of the race is still the team of Colombia, Jessica Para. And still hanging on to second, Gibson of Canada. So Para does draw level and indeed passes the rider from Ireland. So your leader under the scoreboard with 1 kilometre to go. Jessica Para, well, she attacked at just the right moment. Crossed and passed the former leader, the Belgian. And look at this, Para is not far away from making contact with the back of the peloton and gaining a lap here, which would seal the victory for her with only 3 laps to go. Para of Colombia has got the rear of that group in her sights. She is the leader on the track. Remember, second spot is the lone rider at the pursuit line here, the rider from Canada in the red and white colours. But Para of Colombia, all she needs to do is sit there because she is the head of the race with 2 laps to go, 1 lap ahead of the peloton. So Para of Colombia looks a favourite here for the first gold medal for Colombia of these championships. So we're into the final lap when they come round here. And the Colombian rider getting the bell, but she is the head of the race. Second place across the line is still Gibson of Canada. And here's the charge now from the main field for the bronze medal. And on the line, it looked like that was taken by the rider from Denmark. So what a superb ride, and a gold medal for the rider from Colombia, lapping the whole field and taking the victory. Jessica Para of Colombia is the winner of the women's 7.5 kilometre scratch race.
An early birthday present then for the Colombian, 18 on Saturday. Those of you who follow cycling in depth, road and track might remember a man called Fabio Para of Colombia, who, if memory serves me right, won the King of the Mountains in the Tour de France some 20 years or so ago, was it? Some considerable time ago. Anyway, subject to confirmation, as we usually say in these circumstances, until it's all been confirmed by the commissaires. A win for the Colombian, Jessica Para, with Kinley Gibson of Canada in second place and Amelie Dideriksen of Denmark taking the bronze. As I stressed, those will be confirmed, I trust, fairly soon.
Yes, Mike, I think we are now seeing confirmation of the top 3, as you just called it. That great win for Jessica Para of Colombia, Kinley Gibson of Canada, who was the chasing rider getting second place, and Elizabeth Salar of Mexico is currently shown as the rider crossing the line in third spot.
That was a fantastic there, the women's scratch race, a massively tactical race. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of wanted to ask a couple of questions to the guys up there, to Carl and Mike, to find out just how much drafting helps a rider out in a race like the scratch race. What percentage do you save by drafting behind another rider?
Nice of you to put me on the spot, Kat. This is Mike with the mic. Yeah, well, it's often reckoned that in most disciplines, not just the scratch race there, but in sprinting and pursuing, that if you're drafting close behind another rider, you can save, believe it or not, up to 30% of the energy that you would otherwise expend if you were at the front. It's quite phenomenal, but true.
That is a huge amount. Now, we've already had a fantastic question on Twitter from you guys, but if you do have any questions for the guys upstairs, you know you can ask them again on Twitter just using the hashtag JTC2013. Now, we're not far away from the men's team pursuit. We had the qualifications earlier on in the day. I know you guys are all here to support different teams. I know there was a big support for the Aussies and the Kiwis earlier on, and I can see some German flags up there. But the first race in the men's team pursuit is going to be Russia and GB. That's for the bronze medal. So I was thinking that we better get some cheering practice on the go. What do you reckon? Yeah. I want to hear you scream louder than that. Let's give it a go. So come on, Glasgow, let me hear you. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I think you can still do louder than that, though. Come on, Glasgow, let me hear you. Good work. Well, I want to hear you cheering loudly for your teams in the next couple of races. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Kat. Well, this is the big one because the men are lining up for the rider for bronze in the men's 4-kilometre team pursuit. For the bronze medal, in the home straight, we have the European champions of 2013. Russia, represented by Timur Gizatulin, Sergei Mosin, Andrei Postoshkin and Dmitry Strakov. And in the back straight, representing Great Britain, we have Jermaine Burton, Dow Geoghegan Hart, Jacob Regan and Oliver Wood.
So off we go. Russia in the home straight, Great Britain in the back straight. You will be able to contrast the starting styles there, with the Russians adopting a 45-degree angle across the starting line to ensure that no one crosses the line ahead of the man in the gate. Great Britain confident enough to range the riders across the line in a straight line, and indeed they are comfortably away as well. So we'll be flagging up the points around the track as the split times come up, just to keep an eye on who is making the running here. This, of course, is the battle for the bronze medal. And it was the Russians who posted the faster qualification ride, but only by a small margin in the qualification round earlier this afternoon. Russians posting 4:13.065 versus Great Britain's 4:13.824, which for a long time stood as the fastest qualification ride. And as we're looking at the riders now, if you didn't see the qualification competition earlier in the day, and perhaps you're not familiar with team pursuiting, you will see very clearly that the riders share the effort, with the lead rider swinging up, dropping back onto the rear of the string. And thus, as we've just been discussing, the benefit of being behind further riders, that's a 30% benefit, gives the rider just a little bit of respite. They've done that big turn on the front. This is all-out effort of court in the team pursuit. There is no respite at all, really. The riders have to give it full power for their anticipated schedule. The coach at the trackside indicating where the riders are in relation to that riding schedule to ensure they have something left in reserve for the big run to the line at the finish. And we have got 10.5 laps still to be completed. We'll give you an indication of how the race is going when we get to the halfway point. At the moment, I think the Russians just carrying a slight advantage ahead of the team of Great Britain. You can see the relative positions on the track. So, have Great Britain left something in the tank here to try and drag back the Russian team at the halfway point, where we'll be very shortly? We'll get those split times. And the Russians posting 2:00.246, Great Britain 2:01.927. So the advantage still stands to the team of Russia ahead of Great Britain as we go into the second part of this men's team pursuit bronze medal final. And the time is taken on the third rider to cross the line. So the teams can, if they wish or they have to, drop the fourth man as long as they finish 3. It's the wheel of the third man that's the deciding factor when we come to the end of the ride. And as you again glance down at the track, you'll see that Great Britain still have a little bit of a deficit to make up here on the Russian team. Both controlled rides here on a very particular schedule, of course, to deliver them to the line in the best possible time. Only a small difference in qualification, but that could be amplified when we get to the final run to the line here. Of course, riders obliged to ride 2 team pursuits in the day, having qualified earlier on. So it's all about getting that effort back into the legs and making sure you've got everything you need for the final. And it's the Russians who have the better answer at the moment, just ahead of the team of Great Britain by just a shade over a second. Approaching 2.5 laps to be completed for the Russians. Great Britain reaching that point in the back straight now. You can clearly see the difference when you glance across the track. So too can the riders. They'll just have a little look as they go towards their home stations to see where their opponents are relative to them. Great Britain trying to up the pace here, and that's split 1 or 2 riders from that neatly controlled string earlier. And trouble here for man 3 for Great Britain. He's been left a gap to close here. So Great Britain down to 3 riders, but the third man is some considerable distance behind the other 2. Meanwhile, the Russians also dropped their 4th man, but the other 3 are still well placed. Line astern as they come to the line. And it's the Russian team who will take the bronze medal ahead of Great Britain in a time of 3:58. The time for Great Britain. We'll just correct those times on the basis of the third man, so our corrected times not actually coming up on our screen, but hopefully you can see it on the big screen. So just bear with us a moment whilst we correct those times for you. But the Russians clearly reaching the finish line ahead of Great Britain there. So there is confirmation on our big screen, and we think.
So, with the bronze medal having gone to Russia, Great Britain having to settle for 4th place in this competition, we now move on to the ride-off for gold and silver. And it's a rematch, albeit with different riders, with the two nations who took part in the same World Championship 12 months ago. In the home straight, the reigning champions at junior level, Australia, represented by Jack Edwards, Joshua Harrison, Callum Scottson, another one who's got a birthday coming up, he'll be 17 on Saturday, and Sam Welsford. In the back straight, their Antipodean rivals, New Zealand, who faced them 12 months ago in New Zealand and took the silver medal. They are represented by Liam Aitchison, Regan Goff, Joshua Haggerty and Connor Stead.
So this all Antipodean battle here, Australia versus New Zealand. Australia in the white colours, New Zealand, as you would expect, in the predominantly black colours. Coming round to complete the opening lap. This, of course, the battle for gold and silver medals. And reflecting on the qualification times this morning was Australia, who went comfortably faster than New Zealand. But that's not always necessarily reflected when we come to the final ride. But New Zealand on this morning's form have got their task cut out here. So it's the Australians taking an early lead here. Those changes neatly completed by each team at the start of their respective straights. Still Australia, and you'll note if you look at the coaches at trackside, moving relative positions to that pursuit line to indicate to the riders where they are in relation to the opposing team. And that gap reflected by the position of the riders on the track, with Australia still carrying the advantage here. So New Zealand were the silver medalists last year. Australia, although not this team of course, are the world record holders in this discipline, posting that world record time a couple of years ago in Moscow. So it's an intriguing battle indeed. Still some way to go yet. 9 laps to go. And you can see the times on the board, with Australia at the moment doing the better work. So the halfway point reach for Australia, 2:04.977, 2:06.604 the time for New Zealand, so almost 2 seconds separating these two teams at the moment, with the second part of this team pursuit to be completed, the final 7 laps or so. So the New Zealand team really do need to find something here to try and even out this match, because the Australians at the moment have the upper hand, and that gap is increasing. Still all 4 riders for both teams fully committed to the effort here. And at the next check, 2:52.96 for Australia, 2:53.145, almost 3 seconds in arrears, the team of New Zealand. Well, into the final kilometre. And New Zealand drop their 4th man, with inside 4 laps to go. So the pressure on the 3 remaining riders in the New Zealand squad to try and up the pace. Meanwhile, the Australians still with all 4 riders line astern as they go down the home straight. It's Connor Stead who's been dropped by the New Zealand team, so that leaves Aitchison, Goff and Haggerty to complete the distance for New Zealand. But it's not too far away from Australia being in the same straight as their opponents here, as we come down to just 2 laps to go. Inside that point now, Australia, now they shed their 3rd man, their 4th man I should say, 3 riders left on the track. 3rd rider is the one who will record the time. But Australia, they've been in the lead since the start. And as we come into the final lap, the Australians are heading for a gold medal here. The form from the qualification round being reflected here in the final. Australia, they celebrate, and deservedly so. They take the gold medal in a time of 4:06.159, and a valiant effort by New Zealand, taking the silver with 4:12.211.
So just to wrap up the result of the men's 4-kilometre team pursuit final, Australia successfully defending the title they won in New Zealand 12 months ago. A different quartet, of course, with a very good time of 4:06.159, only 4 seconds outside their own world record. The silver medal then going to New Zealand, as indeed it did in New Zealand 12 months ago, with the bronze medal going to Russia. And Great Britain, just for the record, finishing the competition in 4th place. We'll have a victory ceremony for that a little bit later. Imminently though, more imminently, the first of no fewer than 4 victory ceremonies that we have here tonight. That will be the victory ceremony for the women's scratch race, which we saw a little earlier in the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the UCI Junior Track World Championship Women's Scratch Race. The medals and jerseys will be presented by the Events Director of Events Scotland, Mr. Stuart Turner. In 3rd place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Denmark, Amelie Dideriksen. Second place and winner of the silver medal, representing Canada, Kinley Gibson. In 1st place, gold medalist and UCI Junior Track World Champion in the women's scratch race, representing Colombia, Jessica Parra. The flowers will be presented by Rebecca Edser of UK Sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Colombia. Ladies and gentlemen, please salute your medalists. So back onto the track now, and more racing for medals as we turn to the final stages of the women's team sprint. First of all, the ride-off for bronze with these two women teams. And the bronze ride-off will be between, in the home straight, Korea, Yeon-hee Jang and Soo-jin Kim. And in the back straight, Germany, European silver medalists just a month ago, Doreen Heinze and Lisa Klein.
Korea home straight, Germany back straight, the ride for the bronze medal in the women's team sprint. And both teams successfully away from the starting gate. Approaching the completion of the first half lap. The Koreans were the fastest in qualification earlier today. Only 0.4 of a second though separating the two teams. That may sound like the blink of an eye, but it can make all the difference in these team sprint competitions. Riders into their second rider, who will complete the distance and record the time. And this will be close on the line. Korea home straight, Germany back straight. And it's the Koreans who take it with a time of 36.153 and the time for Germany 36.311. So the bronze medal in the women's team sprint goes to the nation of Korea.
Appropriate music then for the bronze medalists, huh? But let's move on now to the Big E, the one for gold and silver in this discipline. This is the final. In the home straight, Australia, represented by Tian Beckett and Tenille Falapi. And in the back straight, European gold medalists just last month and the current world record holders, Russia, with Tatiana Kiseleva and Yekaterina Rogovaya.
So just over 0.2 of a second separated these two teams in qualification earlier today. Australia, Beckett and Falapi, and Russia, Kisleva and Orogovoya. And it is the Australians who started in the home straight, taking a little closer order here, and it looks like they'll get to the line first and make their change. So here we go with Falapi riding the final leg for the team of Australia, and the rider for Russia is into her final lap as well. That's Kiseleva. And at the line, Australia, I think, get that one. Yes, they do. Confirmed 35.344. Still very close indeed, but still coming out on top of the Australians, beating the Russians into second place. So gold medal for Australia, and the silver medal will be taken by the team of Russia.
So just to wrap up the medalists then, in the women's team sprint, the gold medal going to Australia, the silver medal going to Russia, the bronze medal going to Korea, with Germany having to settle for 4th place. Those medals will be presented in a victory ceremony a little bit later on. More imminently though, we have another victory, this time for the men's team pursuit. That the next item on our agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the UCI Junior Track World Championship Men's Team Pursuit. The medals and jerseys will be presented by the Events Director of Event Scotland, Stuart Turner. In third place, winners of the bronze medal, the Russian Federation. The Russian Federation are represented by Timur Gizatulin, Sergei Mosin, Andrei Prostoshin and Dmitry Strakhov. In second place, and winners of the silver medal, New Zealand. New Zealand are represented by Leah Materson, Regan Goff, Joshua Haggerty and Connor Stead. In first place, gold medalists and UCI Junior Track World Champions in the men's team pursuit, Australia. Australia are represented by Jack Edwards, Joshua Harrison, Callum Scottson and Sam Welsford. The flowers will be presented by Rebecca Edser of UK Sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your medalists.
Yeah, no. Hey, boys.
So I'm here with the winning men's team pursuit gang, the Aussies. So how does it feel retaining the title?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, it's just a dream come true. Just putting the rainbow jersey on. It's a dream of mine, a dream of the other boys as well. And it's a big thanks to the Australian coaching committee and Gene Bates, our coach for the men's endurance. We put it all together and laid it out here on the day, and it went good. Yeah.
And what do you think of the track here at the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome?
Oh, it's unreal. Like, never been on a track like this. The crowd and just the atmosphere and everything. It's just way above anything I've ever done.
Well, we love having you here. I do have a question that I'm sure all of the crowd are wanting to know. What's with the hair, guys?
Oh, it's just a 20-year tradition that the Aussies do, so we're keeping it going, and this year making it better than the rest.
Well, it seems like it's a good luck charm for you. Well done. Congratulations, Australia.
Well, another victory ceremony done, and quickly we get back to the track again because we have the last of the disciplines for this evening. By the way, we still have 2 more medal ceremonies, so when the racing's finished, I do trust you'll stay with us for those. This is the ride-off for medals in the men's team sprint. 3 men, 3 laps. This, first of all, the ride-off for bronze in the home straight. European gold medalists Germany, Maximilian Dornbach, Jan May and Patrick Rahm. And in the back straight for New Zealand, Quinn Karkowski, Jeremy Presbury and Callum Saunders.
So where we go for the ride for the bronze medal in the men's team sprint. It was Germany who clocked the fastest qualification time, almost half a second ahead of their opponents here in New Zealand. And look at this, man 1 for New Zealand has gone away like the proverbial rocket, but the other 2 riders fighting to get onto his wheel. In the meantime, the Germans with a much better drill start, but honours even after the opening lap. Slight advantage, in fact, in favour of New Zealand by that very fast start by the lead rider. And heading for the final lap, and the final riders to take up the effort here to try and land the bronze medal in this men's team sprint final. Black colours of New Zealand, the white colours of Germany, and it's Germany who'll get there first, 45.581, and the bronze medal for the team of Germany, just beating the team of New Zealand in 46.363.
So here we go for the big one for the men in the team sprint finals. This for the gold medals and the championship, and of course the silver medals too. In the home straight, we have the defending world champions and the current world record holders from Australia. Australia represented by Jai Angsuthasawit, Patrick Constable and Alexandra Radzikovic. In the back straight, we have the European silver medalists from last month representing the Russian Federation, Alexander Dubchenko, Vyacheslav Fedin and Sergei Gorlov.
So we've already seen Australia take on Russia in the women's team sprint final. Now it's the turn of the men. These teams are very evenly matched in qualification earlier in the day. The Australians just marginally faster, which is why they started in the home straight, as opposed to the Russians who started in the back. At the completion of the first lap, nothing to choose between them. Quick glance behind by the Australian team to just make sure the Russians aren't gaining ground too rapidly. And they're still very evenly matched here. This one's going to come right down to the wire, I suspect, heading for the second change. And Australia versus Russia for one more lap to determine who will take the gold medal. Half a lap to go. Still, you cannot split these teams by eye. It'll all come down to the final time. Here they come into the finishing straight now. Australia in the home straight, Russia in the back straight. Oh, that was really close. Well, we await confirmation of the finishing time. So, confirmation that the time for Australia, 45.639, and the time for Russia, 45.714. So the gold medal goes to the team of Australia.
Well, there was very, very little in that at the end, wasn't there? That really was touch and go. But just to wrap up the medalists there in the men's team sprint, the gold medals going to Australia, the men doing what the women did earlier, the silver medals going to Russia, the bronze medals, remember, going to the current European champions, Germany, with New Zealand in fourth place. Now, just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that there are two more medal ceremonies coming up, and I'm sure that you'll want to stay to show your appreciation to the riders who have won their medals. Two victory ceremonies to come very, very shortly, so please do stay with us as Australia celebrate again.
When you walk into the light, it's burning up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the UCI Junior Track World Championships Women's Team Sprint. The medals and jerseys will be presented by Events Director of Event Scotland, Stuart Turner. In third place, and winners of the bronze medal, Korea. Korea represented by Yeon-hee Yang and Sujin Kim. In second place, and winners of the silver medals, the Russian Federation. Russian Federation represented by Tatiana Kiseleva and Yekaterina Rogovaya. In first place, gold medalists and UCI Junior Track World Champions in the women's team sprint, Australia. Australia represented by Tien Beckett and Tenile Falapi. The flowers will be presented by Rebecca Edser of UK Sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your medalists.
So I've chatted to the Aussie boys, the gold medal winners. Now I'm here with the girls. Australia are absolutely thrashing it today. Hi ladies, how are you feeling?
Pretty good, very excited and just so happy that all our hard work has paid off. So
we've done brilliantly. I just need to ask what you guys think of the track here in Glasgow.
I love the track. It's a sprinters track, so it's perfect for us, but it's absolutely amazing.
So Chris Hoy kind of knows what he's doing, I guess. Now, you guys don't have blonde hair. What's with that? I mean, if it's a tradition, should you not be dyeing it too?
You can't touch my hair with a 20-foot pole with bleach. You're not going near it.
Good call. Well, anyway, you guys didn't need it. You did brilliantly. Congratulations. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the UCI Junior Track World Championships Men's Team Sprint. The medals and jerseys will be presented by the Events Director of Events Scotland, Stuart Turner. In third place, and winners of the bronze medals, Germany. Germany represented by Maximilian Dornbach, Jan May and Patrick Rahn. In second place, and winners of the silver medals, the Russian Federation. The Russian Federation are represented by Alexander Dubchenko, Vyacheslav Fedin and Sergei Gorlov. In first place, gold medalists and UCI Junior Track World Champions in the men's team sprint, Australia. Australia represented by Jay Angsuthasawit, Patrick Constable and Alexander Radzikiewicz. The flowers will be presented by Rebecca Edser of UK Sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your medalists.
So the Australians have made it a hat-trick of golds. I might get a chance to chat to them in a second, make a hat-trick myself, but I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all the volunteers, all the officials have been here this evening and today, and of course the riders and the teams, and of course a huge thanks to you guys, the crowd. You were fantastic. A great day of racing. It starts again tomorrow at 11:30 and there are still tickets available, so do come back for more. It's going to be another great day here at the UCI 2013 Juniors Track World Championship. Hi guys, you're here, fantastic. So how are you feeling?
Well, we're really excited. This is the first World Championship. Oh god, sorry. Yeah, this is the first.
Dude, you've done so much. No one, you know, it's a big deal. So how are you feeling?
Oh, pretty ecstatic. We worked hard to come here and race at the Worlds, and it was just good being selected to be in the Australian team. It's a big honour. But to come away with a world champ, you know, it's what we've been working for our whole under-19 career so far, and yeah, it's
Well, our tagline for these championships is where champions are born. Who knows what the future might hold for you? Obviously, we're in the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome. Who's your heroes?
Oh, I like a Wang Azazel, just because he's small and fast, accelerating like me. So yeah, yeah, he's my idol.
Well, you've done brilliantly today. Well done, Team Australia, and well done, you guys, for being such a fantastic audience. Thanks very much. Hope we will see you again in the next few days, and have a safe journey home. Good night.